The morning is far more than just the start of a new day. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. The way you greet the first moments after waking determines not just how you feel physically, but also how you think, how you react, and how you engage with the world around you. Every sunrise presents a unique opportunity, a fresh canvas, a moment of potential before the noise of obligations and distractions begins to accumulate. When you wake up, your mind is like water in a still pond. It is clear, untainted, and open to direction. What you pour into it during these early hours, thoughts, habits, routines, shapes the ripples that will travel throughout your day. If the first drops you allow are chaotic, anxious, or reactive, the ripples will distort everything else. If they are deliberate, calm, and focused, they create momentum, clarity, and energy that carry forward effortlessly. Most people underestimate this period of the day. They treat mornings as a necessary inconvenience rather than a strategic advantage. They rush to check notifications, respond to emails, or satisfy fleeting cravings for distraction. In doing so, they hand over the control of their mindset to forces outside themselves. The reality is that the first hour after waking is not just a period of time, it is a decision point. It is where you either take charge of your life or allow life to take charge of you. The power of morning lies not in productivity alone, but in the psychological and emotional tone it sets. When you start intentionally, you reinforce a sense of agency over your life. You remind yourself that your actions are not dictated by circumstance, but by choice. That feeling of ownership is infectious. It colors the decisions you make, the confidence with which you pursue them, and the resilience you show in the face of obstacles. A morning spent passively drifting is a missed opportunity to strengthen your mind. The brain is most adaptable and most capable of setting priorities when it is fresh. Engaging it deliberately through reflection, planning, or movement allows you to establish a rhythm for success. Even small acts such as journaling, stretching, or reviewing your goals can align your thoughts, sharpen your focus, and provide a sense of control that endures far beyond the first few hours. The physical aspects of the morning are equally critical. Rising early, nourishing your body, hydrating, or engaging in some form of movement primes both body and mind for the day ahead. Energy is not merely about caffeine or adrenaline. It is a cultivated state influenced by consistent habits. By attending to your physical well-being first, you set a tone of self-respect and intentionality that translates into every interaction and task. Mornings are also a time for clarity. Before the flood of emails, calls, and responsibilities, your mind can think without urgency. Decisions made in this calm space tend to be clearer, more deliberate, and more aligned with long-term goals rather than immediate pressures. It is in these moments that you can plan strategically, evaluate priorities, and envision the steps that will move you closer to what matters most. The emotional impact of a well-lived morning cannot be overstated. Starting the day with purpose cultivates a sense of calm confidence. You carry yourself differently, speak differently, and approach challenges differently. Even when unexpected difficulties arise, you are anchored by the fact that you began intentionally. The early hours become a source of inner stability, giving you the mental and emotional bandwidth to navigate complexities without being overwhelmed. Consistency amplifies this effect. Each intentional morning compounds on the one before it, creating a foundation of habits, mindsets, and energy that grows stronger over time. A single morning may feel small, but over weeks and months, the impact becomes undeniable. The decisions you make in these early hours are like deposits in a bank account. They accumulate interest, building resilience, productivity, and clarity that no external circumstance can fully disrupt. Every morning offers a quiet but profound opportunity to define who you will be and how you will engage with the world. By treating it with reverence and intention, you create a framework for excellence that extends into every aspect of life. It is not merely a routine. It is a declaration of ownership over your time, energy, and focus. The choices made in these first hours echo throughout your day, influencing your thoughts, actions, and ultimately, your trajectory in ways that are often invisible but undeniably powerful. Intentionality is what separates a life that drifts from a life that leads. When you approach the morning with purpose, you are doing more than completing tasks. You are shaping your mindset, setting priorities, and defining the energy with which you will engage the world. Most people move through their mornings like sleepwalking, letting routines dictate them instead of guiding themselves through deliberate choices. To embrace intentionality is to recognize that every small action has meaning and contributes to the larger story of your day. First hour of the morning is particularly powerful because it is the period when your willpower is strongest. Distractions have not yet piled up, obligations have not yet demanded attention, and the mind is unburdened by the stress of the day. By acting deliberately during this time, you harness your natural clarity and focus to create momentum. When you decide in advance what matters, your actions become purposeful rather than reactive. Intentionality transforms simple routines into tools of influence over your own life. Intentionality is not about rigid schedules or perfection. It is about aligning your actions with your values. It is choosing to spend time on what matters most, rather than defaulting to what is easiest or most urgent. Many people confuse busyness with productivity, reacting to notifications, emails, and minor crises without ever asking whether these things serve their long-term goals. By contrast, intentional mornings allow you to act in alignment with your vision, turning each hour into a building block toward meaningful achievement. When you begin the day with intention, you also reinforce a sense of discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom, the freedom to act according to your principles rather than external pressures. Each morning, when you choose to focus on growth, reflection, or planning, you strengthen the neural pathways that support self-control, resilience, and consistency. Over time, this creates a lifestyle where deliberate action becomes second nature, and reactionary habits fade into irrelevance. Intentionality in the morning also provides clarity amidst chaos. The early hours are your chance to prioritize, to map out the day in a way that aligns with your goals. Without this clarity, it is easy to fall into patterns of urgency over importance, allowing reactive choices to dominate. By dedicating even a few minutes to intentional reflection, visualization, or planning, you create a roadmap for the day. This roadmap allows you to navigate challenges with calmness and confidence rather than stress and confusion. The ripple effect of an intentional morning extends beyond personal productivity. How you show up for others, the quality of your interactions, and the energy you bring to relationships are all influenced by how you begin your day. Starting with deliberate actions and clear priorities equips you to communicate better, lead more effectively, and respond with empathy and patience. Intentionality in the morning becomes a lens through which every encounter is filtered, enhancing your impact on those around you. Intentionality also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and the unexpected will always arise. A morning spent passively, reacting to circumstances as they appear, leaves you vulnerable to frustration and stress. By contrast, a morning guided by purpose cultivates a sense of preparedness and mental fortitude. Even when challenges appear, the framework you established in the early hours provides stability, allowing you to adapt, recover, and move forward without losing momentum. Small acts of intentionality compound over time. It might be as simple as taking a few minutes to meditate, write down priorities, or engage in movement that energizes the body. Each deliberate act reinforces the mindset that you are in control of your day. Over weeks and months, these actions accumulate, creating patterns of thought and behavior that lead to long-term success. What seems minor in isolation becomes transformative when consistently practiced with focus and purpose. Intentionality also requires awareness and mindfulness. It is the practice of observing your habits and choices without judgment, identifying what aligns with your vision and redirecting what does not. Morning routines offer the perfect laboratory for this practice. By examining how you spend these first hours, you gain insight into your values, strengths, and priorities. This awareness allows you to fine-tune your actions, creating a morning that is not only productive but deeply aligned with who you want to become. When you consistently begin with intention, the day unfolds differently. You approach challenges strategically, opportunities with discernment, and relationships with thoughtfulness. The intentionality cultivated in the morning becomes the engine driving your decisions, your energy, and your focus. It is the invisible force that transforms ordinary routines into extraordinary results, ensuring that each day contributes to the life you are building and the impact you are striving to make. Every morning presents a powerful choice, a decision that shapes not only the hours that follow, but the trajectory of your life. This choice is about more than hitting the snooze button or getting out of bed. It is about deciding who you will be today, what energy you will carry, and how you will show up for the world. Each sunrise gives you the chance to step into ownership of your actions, to embrace responsibility for your mindset, and to define your intentions before external forces dictate them. The choices we make in the early hours are often subtle, yet they have profound consequences. Something as simple as choosing to start the day with reflection rather than distraction sets a precedent for clarity and focus. Choosing to move your body, nourish it properly, or engage in mental preparation sends a message to your brain that you are in control. Every decision, no matter how small, becomes a statement of your priorities and a foundation for the momentum that follows. Most people underestimate the power of choice in the morning because it feels insignificant compared to the rest of the day. They think it's just a few hours, it won't matter. But the reality is that these hours are the most malleable, the most open to shaping the course of your mindset. The way you choose to act at 6 a.m. has a cascading effect, influencing how you respond to challenges, how you interact with others, and how effectively you pursue your goals. Choice in the morning is leverage, a subtle but unstoppable force. Owning your choices early in the day also builds confidence. When you wake up and make deliberate decisions about how to use your time, you send a powerful signal to yourself. You are capable, you are intentional, and you have agency over your life. That confidence ripples into every interaction, every decision, and every challenge you face. By recognizing the significance of your choices in the morning, you cultivate a sense of mastery that permeates all aspects of your existence. Choice in the morning is not limited to actions, it also encompasses mindset. You can choose to start the day with gratitude rather than complaint, with curiosity rather than cynicism, with optimism rather than fear. These choices are more than mental exercises. They shape the neurological pathways that govern your behavior, focus, and emotional response throughout the day. Choosing your mindset in the morning allows you to operate from a place of strength and clarity rather than reacting to circumstances. The power of choice also extends to how you prioritize your attention. Most distractions, demands, and obligations will appear later in the day. If you wait until then to decide what matters most, you risk letting external pressures dictate your actions. By deciding early, you reserve the first and most focused hours for what aligns with your goals and values. This is where the compounding effect of choice becomes evident. Intentional early decisions reduce chaos, improve productivity, and elevate your impact. Making conscious choices in the morning fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise, but the decisions you establish at the start of the day create a framework for navigating uncertainty. By choosing to act with clarity, purpose, and focus early on, you equip yourself to respond to setbacks with composure and strategic thinking rather than frustration or panic. Choice in the morning builds not only momentum but also adaptability. The cumulative effect of exercising choice each morning is transformative. Each decision, while small in isolation, compounds over time to create patterns of behavior and thinking that define your character and your achievements. Consistently choosing intentionality over reaction, purpose over distraction, and clarity over chaos shapes not just a single day, but the trajectory of your life. It is in these early choices that greatness quietly begins to take root. Choice in the morning also strengthens discipline. By repeatedly making conscious decisions to prioritize what matters, you train your mind and body to follow through even when motivation wanes. Discipline becomes a habit, a natural extension of the choices you practice each morning. This habit, cultivated daily, creates an unshakable foundation for both personal growth and professional success. Every morning is a blank page, and the first decisions you make determine the story that unfolds. The awareness that you have the power to choose your actions, your mindset, and your focus before external pressures arrive is liberating. It allows you to step into each day with intentionality, clarity, and ownership. These choices, made consistently over time, become the engine of your progress, the catalyst for your potential, and the force that shapes the life you are capable of creating. Discipline is not something we are born with. It is something we cultivate, and the morning is where it begins. Each day presents the opportunity to exercise control over your actions, to choose consistency over convenience, and to set a standard for how you will operate. Discipline in the early hours is the anchor that keeps your intentions grounded when the rest of the world becomes chaotic, demanding, and unpredictable. It is not punishment, it is freedom, the freedom to act according to your values rather than the whims of circumstance. The beauty of morning discipline is that it compounds over time. Each small act of intentionality builds momentum for the next. Rising early, moving your body, reflecting on priorities, and committing to focus are all incremental investments in your future. These actions may seem minor, almost inconsequential in isolation, but their effects accumulate, shaping habits, reinforcing neural pathways, and creating a sense of self-mastery that cannot be bought or borrowed. Discipline gives you clarity. When you act with purpose in the morning, you reduce the mental clutter that comes from indecision and reactivity. By establishing routines that align with your priorities, you free up cognitive space to focus on meaningful work rather than constantly reacting to distractions. Discipline in these early hours is not rigid or stifling. It is a structure that supports creativity, problem solving, and thoughtful action. Morning discipline also strengthens resilience. Challenges are inevitable and life will test your resolve, but by cultivating self-control and intentionality early in the day, you equip yourself to face difficulties with steadiness. When you have trained yourself to act according to principle rather than impulse, you are less likely to be swayed by frustration, fear, or external pressures. Discipline provides the framework within which adaptability and perseverance thrive. Discipline is a declaration of ownership. When you commit to deliberate actions at the start of the day, you are telling yourself that your time, energy, and focus are yours to direct. It is a statement that you will not allow distractions, laziness, or circumstances to dictate your progress. Each disciplined morning reinforces this sense of agency, creating confidence and inner strength that carry through every decision, interaction, and challenge that arises later. The impact of discipline extends beyond productivity. It shapes character. By consistently choosing what is necessary over what is comfortable, what is meaningful over what is convenient, you cultivate integrity and reliability. Discipline becomes a reflection of your values and priorities, a living demonstration of who you are and who you aim to be. Each morning spent in structured, purposeful action reinforces these traits, building a foundation that no external factor can easily shake. Discipline is intimately tied to focus. The act of controlling your time and attention in the morning strengthens your ability to concentrate on what truly matters throughout the day. Habits formed in the early hours, whether they are planning, reflection, or deliberate work, train your mind to resist distraction and maintain alignment with long-term goals. This focused energy becomes a force multiplier, allowing you to accomplish more with clarity and precision than you could achieve through mere effort alone. Morning discipline also enhances emotional stability. By committing to intentional practices early, you reduce the likelihood of being swept up in stress, frustration, or reactivity. You enter the day anchored in routine, confidence, and preparedness, which buffers against the unpredictability of external events. This emotional steadiness enables better decision making, more effective communication, and a greater capacity to inspire or support those around you. Discipline in the morning is a form of self-respect. Choosing to invest in your mind, body, and priorities first is a powerful affirmation that your life, goals, and potential matter. It sets a precedent for how you treat yourself and signals that you are worthy of consistent effort and intentional care. This practice reinforces a sense of value and purpose that extends far beyond the hours immediately after waking. Each disciplined morning shapes the trajectory of your day, week, and life. It is a continuous act of building strength, focus, and resilience that compounds invisibly but powerfully over time. By treating your mornings as sacred space for intentional action, you create a momentum that carries you through distractions, challenges, and uncertainties, and you steadily cultivate the habit and mindset necessary to achieve meaningful and lasting success. The clarity that comes from a well-structured morning is one of the most undervalued advantages anyone can possess. Before the day becomes cluttered with emails, meetings, and demands from others, the mind has the unique capacity to think freely, to weigh priorities, and to envision what is truly important. These early hours allow for reflection without pressure, for focus without distraction, and for planning that aligns with your highest goals. Clarity in the morning is not just a mental state, it is a strategic advantage that shapes the entire day. When the first moments of the day are approached intentionally, they provide a rare window to assess what matters most. This is when decisions can be made with foresight rather than reaction. By dedicating time to identify priorities, visualize outcomes, and anticipate challenges, you create a mental map that guides every action and interaction. Without this clarity, even the most well-intentioned efforts risk being misdirected, scattered, or reactive, leaving energy wasted and potential unrealized. Morning clarity also improves decision making. The brain is most capable of thoughtful evaluation during the early hours, before fatigue, stress, or information overload clouds judgment. Complex problems become easier to tackle, choices become more deliberate, and opportunities that may have gone unnoticed in the rush of the day can be recognized and acted upon. The decisions made during these hours have a disproportionate impact because they set the tone and trajectory for everything that follows. A clear morning fosters confidence. When you start the day with focus and purpose, you know exactly where to direct your energy. This certainty eliminates hesitation and doubt, allowing actions to flow naturally and decisively. Confidence grows not from blind optimism, but from the repeated practice of starting each day with intentionality and direction, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of handling whatever challenges arise. Clarity also allows you to align your actions with your values. The morning is a rare period when external pressures are minimal, giving you the chance to evaluate your choices without compromise. By reflecting on what is important and setting intentions accordingly, you ensure that your efforts are consistent with your principles. This alignment creates a sense of fulfillment and purpose that permeates every task and interaction, turning ordinary activities into meaningful steps toward your larger goals. The benefits of clarity extend to productivity. When the mind is clear and priorities are defined, action becomes purposeful rather than reactive. Tasks are approached with strategy and efficiency, distractions are minimized, and energy is directed toward outcomes that truly matter. This heightened productivity is not frantic busyness but focused, deliberate progress that compounds over time, transforming days into measurable achievements. Morning clarity also strengthens resilience. When you begin the day with a clear understanding of your priorities and intentions, unexpected challenges are easier to navigate. Clarity provides perspective, enabling you to distinguish between what is critical and what is peripheral. With this framework, you are less likely to be derailed by setbacks and more likely to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The mental calm that accompanies clarity supports emotional stability. By knowing where you are headed and how to approach your day, stress and anxiety are reduced. You are able to face pressures, conflicts, and unforeseen events from a grounded state, maintaining composure and focus. This emotional steadiness not only benefits you personally, but enhances your interactions, making you a source of calm and direction for others. Clarity in the morning nurtures creativity. A mind free from immediate distraction and clutter can explore new ideas, identify innovative solutions, and think strategically about opportunities. These early hours are often when insights emerge, plans crystallize, and inspiration strikes. By protecting this time for intentional thought, you ensure that creativity and vision are not lost in the noise of the day. The power of morning clarity lies in its compounding effect. Each day that begins with focus and intentionality strengthens mental habits, reinforces strategic thinking, and amplifies productivity. Over time, the ability to approach challenges with foresight, to act with precision, and to maintain emotional balance becomes second nature. By dedicating these early hours to clarity, you cultivate a mindset that transforms not just individual days but the trajectory of your life. Action is the bridge between intention and achievement, and the morning is the moment when this bridge is first built. Every plan, every goal, and every vision remains just potential until it is activated through deliberate action. The early hours of the day are uniquely positioned to set this process in motion, providing a window when energy, focus, and clarity are at their peak. Choosing to act during this time transforms abstract intentions into tangible progress and sets the rhythm for the entire day. The impact of morning action extends far beyond the immediate tasks at hand. By taking decisive steps early, you create momentum that carries forward into every subsequent endeavor. This momentum is cumulative, turning small, consistent actions into significant outcomes over time. What may begin as a single effort, such as writing down priorities, exercising, or tackling a challenging task, becomes the catalyst for a chain reaction that shapes the rest of your day and, ultimately, your life. Action in the morning is a declaration of ownership. It is a statement that you are not waiting for circumstances to dictate your success or your mood, but that you are choosing to lead yourself with intention. Every purposeful step taken in these hours reinforces the belief that you control your time, your energy, and your impact. This sense of ownership transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary because it signals commitment to your own growth and accountability for your outcomes. Consistency amplifies the power of morning action. Even small, seemingly inconsequential steps, when performed daily, accumulate into habits that drive long-term success. The repeated practice of taking action in the first hours of the day trains the mind and body to operate with discipline, focus, and resilience. Over time, the act of doing becomes instinctive, and the results compound exponentially, creating a trajectory of progress that feels unstoppable. Morning action also reduces the risk of procrastination. The longer you delay meaningful work, the more inertia builds and the harder it becomes to start. By acting early, you bypass the mental resistance that grows as the day unfolds. Initiating action immediately establishes a tone of productivity and accomplishment that influences subsequent decisions, making it easier to tackle challenging tasks with confidence and determination. The quality of your actions is heightened in the morning. Your mind is fresh, your focus is sharp, and your energy is abundant. These factors allow you to approach tasks with precision, creativity, and thoughtfulness. Actions taken in this state are more likely to be intentional and effective, creating outcomes that are not only faster but also more aligned with your long-term objectives. Morning action is, therefore, both efficient and strategic. Action in the morning reinforces self-confidence. Each completed task, each intentional step, is a reminder of your capability and competence. This early reinforcement strengthens your belief in your own abilities, allowing you to approach challenges later in the day with greater assurance. Confidence is not built in a single moment. It is forged through repeated demonstrations to yourself that you can take initiative, follow through, and create results consistently. Action cultivates momentum in ways that thought alone cannot. Plans, goals, and intentions remain inert without movement. The first actions of the day transform ideas into reality and create a sense of progress that fuels further effort. This momentum is both practical and psychological, providing the drive and motivation to sustain focus, overcome obstacles, and persist through difficulties. Each deliberate step taken in the morning becomes a building block for continued achievement. The ripple effect of morning action reaches beyond personal productivity. How you show up in meetings, conversations, and collaborative efforts is influenced by the energy and momentum you create early. When you begin with initiative and purpose, you set a standard for engagement and inspire those around you. Action becomes contagious. Your commitment to doing the work early establishes a culture of effort, accountability, and excellence that extends beyond yourself. Morning action transforms potential into impact. It is the tangible expression of your goals, intentions, and values. By choosing to act decisively and consistently in these first hours, you activate the energy, focus, and momentum necessary to achieve meaningful results. Each deliberate movement propels you forward, amplifying your influence and shaping the trajectory of your day, your work, and your life in ways that thought, planning, and intention alone cannot accomplish.